Hello everybody, my name is CC Dragonblade, and welcome back to What If Belle Had Crown Clown. Where we left off is that he left the day of when he left the village to go to the city with the dungeon. Sorry, I forgot its name, and I'm too lazy to look it up, so when he got there, him and Tim Campy were looking for a familia. They went everywhere, and a lot of gods and goddesses saw thought, saw him as weak as normal. But then and Tim Cam- and he was kicked. Him and Tim Campy was kicked out, which Tim Campy is kind of annoyed. He kind of wanted to bite their heads off. If you didn't know, Tim Campy actually can grow. And Belle kept him in line. But he kind of did too. Then, then Goddess Freya saw him and felt his aura. The same feeling Zeus had when Belle got Crown Clown. So she took interested and decided to ask him if he wants to join her familia. He said yes and asked if Tim Campy can come with, and she decided it was okay. And when they got to the household for the Freya familia, and went to check uh, Belle's stats, he decided to tell her about his arm and to keep this a secret. She was kind of worried about his arm for a bit because of what it looks like. To her, it looks like he been through a fire, and only his arm didn't make it out in one piece. Then we skip to the day of the Minotaur attack. Him and Tim Campy were getting a lot of money because his eye, let's just say the cursed eye can detect any monsters from anywhere, which made it easier for Belle and Tim Campy. Tim Campy mostly helped get the cores. Then they heard a roar of a minotaur. They both run as fast as they can, with no hesitation. But the minotaur caught up to them. And when the minotaur tried to kill Belle, he heard a voice saying, "Innocence, activate." Then he decided, why not just say it? As he said, "Innocence, activate!" Then a giant silver claw came out of the same arm that was destroyed, and he stabbed it right into the Minotaur, pointing it out its core. And he was so freaking surprised on what he just did. He killed a Minotaur at such a low level with this. But he was so full of adrenaline, he didn't notice about the arm until he finished off the Minotaur. Then when he finally realized about the arm, he was freaking scared on what it is. He thought he had a monster arm. Then he decided to just calm down and thought about finding out how to revert it back to his old arm. Then it did. And when Eyes found him, she was a bit surprised on how he killed a Minotaur at his low level. At such a low level. But he decided to run off because he wanted to see what the hell that was. He thought it may be just a normal skill. And Tim Campy fastly took the Minotaur's core crystal, and they both ran out of the dungeon. Then they head to the Adventurers Guild. And sorry, but I forgot the elf's name. And told her on what happened. She was freaking surprised on what he said. That his arm turned into a giant monster hand. But decided that he might be lying. So she told him to prove it. As he said, "Innocence, activate," and showed her his arm. It was a big, giant-ass monster claw with a silver color on it. And he told her that's how he killed the Minotaur. And she was surprised and thought that maybe it's just a skill, your own type of skill. And she told him to go see Goddess Freya. Maybe she'll know what skill this is. When he went to Goddess Freya and told her about what happened, she was pretty intrigued on what it is. And she decided that it might not be best to mess around with it and try to take it out of his arm. And told him to use it however he will in the dungeon. So he did a lot of times until the elf told him to get a helper. He said that Tim Campy is good enough, but she said to actually, yes, that he's good for helping you get it got easier for him. So, but as they say, 2 heads are better than 1, but instead 3 heads are better than 2. So he decided to do so. Then he found Lily. She wanted to help him, and she figured that she might get some money off of him. But really, he was way too nice for her. She thought he was too naive and nice. And then he saw her guild her familia harassing her, and it pissed him off. So he decided to beat the familia up, and she was grateful that he helped her. But that didn't came out without a price. They came back to actually kill her this time. Tried to kill her by putting her in the dungeon. They almost did, but Belle wasn't too happy about that. And then he got an image of his claw turning into a cannon. So he tried to do that, and it worked. It helped kill all the ants and saved her. But she told him the truth and asked him why did he saved her. He said that because I want to be a hero. I want to save people, even if they did wrong. And asked if she still wants to be part of his team, part of his party. She said yes, bawling her eyes out. And then Belle asked if she wants to join his familia instead. And she said yes over and over again. So she did, and she's part of the familia family now. The Freya familia now. Oh, and by the way, Freya has a tiny crush on Belle, I believe, like in canon. So does Lily. They both want him. His love. By the way, what should I make this ship? Comment down below. Back to the story. Then we get to the day of when the Loki familia was going on their expedition. And Belle and Lily decided to go down to the more lower floors. But, oh, by the way, I forgot about Firebolt. Basically, flashback. Firebolt affected when he got Firebolt. His power Crown Clown changed. The claw extended and had fire blazing around it. And the cannon, it got extra more firepower, literally. And it made him stronger. And his stats been rising very high. And okay, back to the main story. When they encountered the same Minotaur as in canon, they told Lily to run because he noticed that this one is stronger than the Minotaur he killed that day. And he was still kind of traumatized from that experience. So he had a little fear. He tried his best to kill it, but it was very, very strong and had tough hide. Very, very tough hide. And when he almost got it, he thought he found its opening. He tried to exploit it, but the Minotaur threw the sword right through his chest. And both the Loki familia and Lily was surprised, and Lily was bawling her eyes out, screaming Belle's name to wake up. Then, back to Belle's point of view. When he thought he was gonna die, he heard a voice saying, "What a pitiful sight. You know, you shouldn't make a girl cry so much." And said that, are you really gonna give up right here, right now? Then Belle said, "Of course not. I want to achieve my goals." And how are you gonna do that when you're about to die? I don't know. What would you suggest? I suggest that you awaken the true power of Crown Clown. Wait, what? Awaken it. So he called out Crown Clown's name. Then a white robe with mask came onto him. Crown Clown looked different from Alan's look. It had parts of it looks more fluffy and had a ash-like look to it. And it looks like it can, and his arm had, with the arm on with a claw, it looked like it had markings of fire on it. No actual color, just black, still black and white, but markings of fire, flames on it. Then, when he grabbed the sword from his chest, and he rips it out of his chest. Then he blitzed to the Minotaur and started and start fighting it. It still had thick hide, even the sword couldn't cut through it. But it was having a difficult time with Belle. And it was not happy. Then, when the Minotaur almost hit Belle, his robe he trapped the Minotaur within his robe. You know that back in The Gray Man that the robe can do many things, like extend its parts? Yeah, it's doing that. Then, so it's trapped it in its own silk, leaving it in a vulnerable position. Then Belle plunged the sword right through it. Then, using firebolt and explode it. He overexerted himself, so he still fainted while standing up. When the wolf guy decided to told one of his fellow members of his familia, of the Loki familia, they learned that all his stats are rank S, and he reached level 2. Everybody was surprised, and he was in a coma for like a few days. When he woke up, it was kind of in the middle of the night, but he still woke up, and woke up to 2 girls right next to him, Freya and Lily. He was kind of blushing at that. Then he heard a voice. Well, this is quite interesting, to say the least. He thought he was going crazy, but when he heard it again, he learned that he wasn't going crazy. Someone was actually in his head. He asked them, "Who are you?" The voice told him that his name is Alan Walker, and that power was originally my power, called Crown Clown. He was surprised, and he asked, "Why do I have it then?" Alan told him that when he died, his power, Tim Campy took the power away from the guy who was about to grab it. And since Crown Clown and I were kind of attached to each other and can't really move. So yeah. That's why I'm in here. So basically, you're like my reincarnation in a way. And I noticed that you have some of my personality traits. And and curse as well to see monsters with the eye. But it acts different than my eye. And Quarkon is looking very good right now. Okay. What do we do then? Well, enjoy the time with these pretty girls as much as you can, because I bet this is just a once in a lifetime opportunity to enjoy a company of two girls. As he brushed a bright red that it looked like his hair almost turned red. As Alan laughs in his mind. So he gone back to sleep with Freya and Lily next to him. And in his mind, he says, to be honest, he's right. This is kind of nice. So they both slept for a while. In the morning, they all woke up. Lily was embarrassed, and Freya wasn't too embarrassed, but Bill thought he saw a little bit of red on her. But she kept her cool, like always. And Freya suggests that we should celebrate on how you leveled up to level 2. He agreed, so him and the whole familia celebrated. And then he saw some of his fellow familia members playing cards. And he decided to want to do that. So he asked if he could join them. They said sure. And a couple hours later, his fellow familia members are stripped down to their underwear, with Belle having a sharp, jagged, toothy grin in his mind, saying, "I will take all you have. I will strip you down till there's nothing left." Then he got back to reality and thought, guess that's what he meant by that. Man, that's gonna be hard to explain. And then Bell just list off of what they owe him. And so he decided to give them their clothes back. Everyone was quite surprised. And thought that it was that he cheated, but they couldn't find a way how he cheated. Found out how he cheated. Everyone was very, very surprised. And then the day ends there. And that's where I'm gonna leave off. I know I was very vague and because I'm still getting used to this, so please don't judge me. So, if you liked it, like and subscribe. comment down below on what you think. And see you later. Goodbye.